Pasco Extension Connection. The Pasco Extension Connection brings you a different guest each episode with new information about the University of Florida's Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences Extension Service, as well as our community and government partners. Extension is a partnership between state, federal, and county governments to provide scientific knowledge and expertise to the public. The University of Florida IFAS Extension encompasses thousands of Extension faculty members, scientists, educators, administrative staff, and volunteers, all working to provide solutions for your life. Thank you for inviting me in as your host. My name is Dr. Whitney Elmore, University of Florida Pasco County Extension Director and Urban Horticulture Agent, and I'm very excited to introduce you to three of our Master Gardeners today, and I've got over on my right Mr. Bob O'Brien, Carla O'Brien, and Dorothy Moore here, and they're near and dear to my heart as I'm also the Master Gardener Coordinator for Pasco County. And so these folks go through really a rigorous training to become volunteers for the Master Gardener program. So I want to highlight some of what they do, the different types of programs, and talk a little bit about really the dedication and what it takes to be a Master Gardener. So Dorothy, let me start with you and ask you a few questions. Really, what is the Master Gardener program?
Master Gardener program is a program provided by the University of Florida where we have education by skilled people such as yourself, and we go through class for about 3 months, 1 day a week, 1 full day a week for those 3 months. And then we've also, during that time, we have a mentor, and those mentors work alongside us to help us know what to do when we're out amongst the public, and or just working within the gardens, because we volunteer, and that's where we have a lot of put in our work to repay for this program, because basically the only thing we have to pay for are our books when we're doing this. So it really it's just payback.
And I think it's a really good way to put it. It's kind of payback at the same time, because, and I think what a lot of the viewers wouldn't necessarily understand when they hear the term Master Gardener is they think, well, you just teach people how to garden, right? And that is an aspect of what Master Gardeners do, but it is so much more than that, and it is, first and foremost, a volunteer program that does take a lot of time and dedication. And you all are volunteering in the schools, and we'll hear from Bob and Carla in just a few minutes about their activities in the schools. But you are involved in working with folks over in the elderly population, sometimes with disabilities, just with the general public, homeowners, right? You all have worked with businesses in many cases. So you're really here to serve the public, and you are spending your time and sometimes your money to give back, really, to your communities. And that's why the program was started through the University of Florida. Now, are there Master Gardeners only associated with the University of Florida, or are they spread around the state, the nation, anywhere else?
Well, they are nationwide. It's not just here in Pasco County, but also throughout the country. And all the states have a university, a land-grant university that the training comes from. And mostly, I would say that they go out to the counties to receive that education. That may differ from state to state, but here in the state of Florida, it is provided within the county.
So your training comes through the extension office. So like myself, I'm one of the instructors. We also have some of our Florida-friendly landscape program coordinators like Jim Mall, that's an instructor. He's kind of my right-hand man. And then we like to bring in folks from other counties, even other Master Gardeners, to provide expertise from time to time. I mean, we have Master Gardeners that are experts in so many different fields, right? All the way from bamboo to community gardening, and even sometimes a therapeutic sense, because we've had some Master Gardeners that have worked in some of the nursing facilities to provide programs and activities. And you all work with 4-H a lot as well to help develop youth skills and leadership the same time. Dorothy, let me ask you, how did you find out about the Master Gardener program?
Through the seminars that are provided by the Master Gardeners. And I attended for several years different seminars that were provided here in Pasco County. And I wanted to know how it was they became Master Gardeners. And so I started asking questions, and they said, oh, well, by the way, we have classes once a year. At this time, it's once a year. And they said, come and join us. And so I said, okay, where do I sign?
Yeah. And I will tell our viewers this too. I mean, it's a rigorous course, right? It's
Yes.
basically the equivalent of getting a minor in horticulture sciences, is what I like to tell folks, because it's more than 70 hours of intensive training that Master Gardeners go through, and then there's the volunteer requirement that comes with it. Bob and Carla, how did you all find out about the program and want to get involved?
Well, I have a degree in horticulture. I moved to Florida, and I went to plant some tomatoes after we moved into our house, and all the 4 tomatoes died within a month. I said, okay, 50 years of experience, I have my own landscape business, I can't grow tomatoes, I got to figure out what's going on. And then I went to an extension program to learn about gardening, and then decided that I would like to be a master gardener, to take all the stuff I've learned over the years, plus what I learned in the Master Gardener School, and pass it out to people. It was just a continuation of what I've done my whole life. So it's been a good thing, and keeps me active, and keeps me up to date on things, and I get out and see the public and see what's going on.
Yeah. And you all are very engaged with the public in every sense of the word. Now, you know, we live in this information age where there's so much new research that's thrown at us, because, I mean, being associated with the University of Florida, our information is not opinion-based that we teach, it's fact-based, right? So there's lots of new information that's coming out, and our job at the county extension offices is to take that information from the state land-grant university and package that for the citizens within a county. So do you all have like continuing education requirements? How do you stay abreast of new information that comes out?
We do have education requirements. It's a minimum of 10 CEs, which is continuing education a year. Plus, in the first year, we have 75 hours of volunteer work that's asked of us. Then after that, it's 35 hours per year, which is not really that much, but it really helps to get the word out. So the more Master Gardeners, obviously, the more the education takes place out in the field.
Now, we've mentioned volunteering quite a bit, and I hope that our viewers will be able to understand that the most important aspect of being a Master Gardener is all about volunteering and giving back, right? And then the education follows behind that we're delivering out to the communities. What types of volunteer activities are you all involved with, and what are some, and even if you're not involved, what are some of the activities that Pasco Master Gardeners partake in?
We do, I'm an organizer for Home Depot in Port Richey. We do seminars once a month. So what I do is I line up speakers on various gardening topics and bring them in, and and Home Depot gives us a spot to present these things, and we give these things out. That's one of the things we do. There's also many smaller places where you go to, and maybe you'll man a booth for questions at one of the things that goes on, maybe one of the festivals or whatever. Our main thing, and what Carl and I spend a lot of time with, is we teach vegetable gardening to school children, basically 2nd and 3rd graders, and we do this at 2 different schools. We have 2 different classes, 2nd and 3rd grade, so we have a grand total of 10 2nd grade classes we teach, and also 4 3rd grade classes.
So you're interacting with hundreds of students.
It's over 200, and so over 200 people get exposed. Students get exposed to gardening. It's a great thing. It's It's not just a fun and games thing. They're learning about gardening. They learn about different horticulture topics, whatever we want to teach them. When they do their gardening, they each have 2 plant pails. And a plant pail is a 5-gallon bucket, okay, that's set up for watering and whatnot where they grow things. So each student has 2 pails, and they also keep a journal. So every time they come out to the garden, they update their journal on how the plant is growing, what's going on, what kind of a plant it is, because they grow different kinds of plants. They get to choose what they want to grow. At the end, as comes to harvest time, they get to consume or take home what they grew in their plant house. So in between, you teach them different things about what's going on, and it's quite fun. The children really enjoy doing this sort of thing because it's a learning based thing, and it takes all the aspects of education, which would be math, okay, reading and writing, which are the 3 basic things of education, and it's in a real life situation. It's not just a book. It's a real life thing. It's something that gardening is something they can carry on throughout their whole life. So it's teaching them about that, teaching them about healthy foods, what to eat, how easy it is to grow, what to look for. In a lot of cases, a lot of these children are exposed to different vegetables they've never even seen before. They get to taste it. We have a chef that comes out, a retired chef. He volunteers his time. He teaches nutrition as well as when he comes out, we have what we call a tasting party. Where we take what we harvest, and they all get a chance to taste it and see what it tastes like, and they know what it is. And there's different things like that. It's a great exposure for children. It's a really good learning experience for them to learn all these things. Food just doesn't come from food stores.
Yeah, not just out of a can, right?
It doesn't come out of a can. It comes right off of something, and and when we do it, we use all organic type fertilizers. Any pesticides that we do use, if we use them, they're also organic. We never use any kind of a pesticide that's not an organic type thing. So it teaches them that they can grow these things and have this without all the typical pesticides that everyone's concerned about. So it's just a great thing.
Carla, you and I have discussed the butterfly gardens. So it's not just been vegetable gardening that you all have been involved with at schools, but it's also butterfly gardens. You want to elaborate on that?
Yes, at Fox Hollow Elementary School, they had a plot of ground that they had designated as a butterfly garden, but they had never done any work with it. So what happened, there was a tree, and it looked kind of on its way out, it looked like it was dying. So we asked the principal if we could perhaps start a butterfly garden with the kids, and she said she thought that would be a great idea. Well, that butterfly garden is now a national certified butterfly garden because it meets all the aspects of what a butterfly garden is supposed to be. It's up off the ground, so that eliminates a lot of problems. And also, it's dedicated to a little boy in the school who is deceased. So there's a little plaque outside with his name on it, and now it really looks like a nice piece of horticulture instead of just a plot of ground with nothing growing on it. And the kids just think it is so great because they get into doing the butterflies, watching them grow, and when they're finished going through all their stages, they release them at the butterfly garden. It's amazing. And it gets everybody involved with nature, which is a part of science.
Yeah.
And as long as we can get the teachers to go along, and we have their little butterfly tents in the classroom, which are nothing but little hampers, little laundry hampers, the kids get a really big joy out of it.
So from children's perspective in our schools in Pasco County, there's a tremendous amount of educational value.
Absolutely.
It's not just the gardening, but it's the ability to become involved with sustainable living, to be able to take care of themselves. There's a level of dedication and responsibility that they learn there, and discipline at the same time that comes along with it. And it also allows the teachers to become very creative in the lessons that they teach. And the curriculum that you all use in the schools is also part of the core standards that come from the state, correct?
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
nutrition program. So the kids are well versed in what they should eat. And at Fox Hollow this past December, we had a salad bar for them where we made 100 salads out of everything that came into the garden. And I'll tell you a funny story about the salads. They were all, spinach, lettuce, what else? Tomatoes and radishes and
Carrots.
carrots. The carrots tasted like candy. They were that good. But one lady who happened to be in the class, in the cafeteria with her student eating lunch, we offered her a salad, and she came up to me and she said, "I'm sorry, but there's a flower on top of my salad. I think somebody made a mistake." And I had to say to her, "No, that was no mistake. That was an edible flower. It's a nasturtium." And she looked at me like, "What?" And
There's a lot of
we
discovery.
enlightened this lady that yes, there are things out there called edible flowers. And she chomped down on the flower like I told her to, and she said, "Wow, this tastes a little peppery."
Yeah.
There
So
you
even the
go.
programs that involve the kids have much more outreach
Exactly.
beyond that.
I was
That's
really
phenomenal.
excited when she said that though, because it opened up a whole new world. Because her child had already known this, because he was fine with this flower sitting on top decorating his salad.
Mhm.
But the mom was kind of, "Oh no, somebody's wrong." So we had a laugh, and she laughed, and it was great.
And Dorothy, I know that you have helped me on several occasions go into some of the schools and do some programs with the kids. But what other types of programs have you been involved with outside of the schools?
There's a variety of programs that are desperately needed, to back up the people that are out there in the front lines, so to speak, and computer work. Whether it's doing working with a database to maintain the database that we have for our plants that we sell at our annual plant sale, or if it's doing some type of Photoshop or just getting pictures out there. There's a need for everything from people with a variety of skills. Those who can take excellent pictures are always needed. We're always like to have a little bit of video along with our programs and the seminars. So anyone who can do work with the computer and camera,
And I
we would
would say
really love to have
social media. We could use a lot of help with social media too, right? 'Cause
Most of
it's a wide area.
us are a little older. That's why we have time to do some volunteer work, but and so maybe our skills aren't quite as up to date as some of the others. But as we move along, the people are coming in with more computer skills, and that really
That's
helps.
right. But you all are always willing to learn at the same time.
We
And
are.
I think that's one of the most important
We are.
aspects of a community gardener is you're not just willing to stay stagnant, but to improve your skills so that we have master gardeners that do an excellent job in speaking and do a lot of speaking engagements all the way up to state conferences. And of course, locally, master gardeners are pretty much spread throughout the county from east to west and are partnered. I think, and I want to make sure that we highlight some of the partnerships that we have. We're partnered with the libraries to offer space in just about every community throughout the county so that we can be spreading all of that good information around. We have had the Pasco County Parks and Rec Department has helped us move some materials to schools on several occasions to help with community gardens. We also then have our family nutrition program that you all mentioned that come in, and that's associated with the University of Florida, and they come in and help with the educational programming as well with the students. But then also Bob mentioned, the fact that we've got a lot of supporters out there in terms of businesses. Home Depot, Walmart has been a big supporter of ours helping to donate. And so, we would like to also make mention of the fact that we can always use donations to be able to deliver these programs. And let's not forget about the master gardeners that are kind of the jacks of all trades that have the ability to get out there and do engineering and mechanical work for us, because we're getting ready to roll out a very innovative new idea, and that's going to be our mobile plant clinic that we'll be taking to festivals and to some of the farmers markets, so that folks can bring their plant issues to us, and we'll be coming out into the public as well, and you'll be seeing our mobile plant clinic on the road. And it took some master gardeners a lot of work, and also a local company to provide some of the advertising through local wraps. And so we'd like to say thank you to our partners, and thank you to all of those that donate time, energy, and money to us. Do you think you'll stay a master gardener, Dorothy?
I think so. I enjoy the work. I enjoy working with people. I'm a little bit of a computer nerd, slightly, not
And we're
big
glad
time,
you are.
but a little bit. So I do enjoy doing some of that, and that's the behind the scenes work. And like I said, we need that. We have the people that are out front manning the booths at festivals and things like that, but we also have those that are in the office and answer the phones.
Yeah,
And that is critical because those phones ring every day.
they sure do. They sure
Every
do.
day.
They're answering emails, they're on the phones, and helping folks with a wide variety of problems. And it's not just about the plants out in the yard. It's also, in many cases, discussions about commercial crops, but also problems inside of the homes, pests that sometimes frequent our homes in Florida. And master gardeners are experts in helping folks come up with solutions to solve those problems, identify those problems, and for the most part, free service that master gardeners provide to Pasco County. You know, I do want to also make mention of the fact that master gardeners yearly in Pasco County put in somewhere between 10 and 15,000 hours of volunteer work. And I mean, that's tremendous value that goes back into Pasco County. And so it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so we from the Extension Office thank you all very much for being very valued members of our Extension family. As we start to close here, I've got just a couple of parting questions here. Carla, you know, you all work so much with the kids. What are some of the responses you hear from the children in the programs that you do?
Well, I think when they first come out in the beginning of the year, they don't know what to expect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So as we start to work with them and they get into it, they're very excited every week when they come out, and as their plant starts to grow, they're just crazy. And they measure every week as the plant is growing. And the one thing that I always stress, you have this little one planted radishes, and this little one planted carrots, and this little one planted peas. They grow at different rates, just like they do.
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling them that. This one is small, you're tall. You need to have patience. You have to learn patience.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the year, when it's all done and they all have managed to get their crops growing, I ask them, what is the one thing that you really learned in this garden? And one little boy yells out, patience. So they did learn all about growing, but they were also unhappy when their neighbor's plant was growing and theirs was still not in the ground. But at the end, everybody had everything. But so I think that it was a very eye-opening experience as they watched the plants grow, because not only were they watching theirs, they were watching all of the other ones too.
They were watching themselves
Yes,
grow,
and,
not just physically,
yes, they
but intellectually,
yes,
emotionally.
and at the end of the semester, when they were able to say, it was so exciting to see it happen. So
It's great
well
life
worth it.
lessons
Yes,
that they're learning.
it really is.
Yeah. Bob, what do you think the most important aspect is of being a master gardener and giving back to your community?
Well, we have a lot of knowledge about plants and other things, and so it's nice to be able to interact with the public, and actually pass that information on. That's the whole purpose of Extension Service, is to pass on the information to people who are looking for answers. And we give them good, straight answers that come from research done by University of Florida and other universities. It's not based on looking something up on the internet. This is like real stuff. This is what works. This is what doesn't work, and helps them along. You know, people, they really are looking for a good, strong answer and being interact with us and to bring us their problems and their things. And it's great. I love to help people to grow things or make something better around their property or in their garden or trying to grow vegetables. And we really like to pass that information on to other people. I think it feels good to be able to do that, to help people. It gives you a purpose in life, and you need a purpose in life. And especially when you're retired, you need to do something. This is a great way to do it, and it makes you feel good about yourself. It's helping somebody out. It's not about making money. We don't do this for money. We do this for just for that ability to be able to pass on our knowledge to someone else to help someone, and that makes the place a better world.
Yeah, that's good. That's a great answer, and you touched on an important aspect there. A lot of people think that master gardeners are paid for their services because you are experts and you do such great work and you have all of that knowledge to give, but you are volunteers, very important volunteers in our community. Dorothy, did you have something else?
I had one more thing. Working with the master gardeners and at meetings and things like that, I find that master gardeners are a group that tends to share more than almost any other group that I know of. They are very willing to share their expertise, and I grow every time I go to a meeting and I find something from Bob or Carla or one of the other master gardeners. It is amazing, the wealth of information that the body has. So it truly is wonderful. And I also don't know a master gardener that has dementia, because I think because they're continuing to learn, they're continuing to grow.
Keep the mind moving. Absolutely. And we've touched on the fact that we do have lots of retired individuals that are master gardeners because they tend to have the time, but Master Gardener program is open to basically anybody who is dedicated, has the time, that will come to the classes, be educated, and be willing to share their time down the road. Now, you probably answered one of my last questions for you. It was a two-parter, so you got ahead of me, I bet, Dorothy, because it was a great answer. I was going to ask you, what's the hardest part about being a master gardener, and then what's the best part? And you may have answered that best part.
Well, of course, the best part is the camaraderie and the education that we receive, not just in class, but from one another. But also from the public, because the public does have something to share, and sometimes they don't realize what they give us. Sometimes we have to debunk some myths
That's right.
that are out there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, because then they're learning and can pass that information
And how
on
else
to
will they find out if we're not passing along that information? So what's the hardest
the
part?
hardest part. Getting out of bed in the morning.
Getting out of it. Well, I would have to say I agree with that myself.
but maybe for me, it's working in the greenhouse in the summer when it's over 100 degrees.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the hardest part. But I also get a lot of comfort out of it, and it's quiet in there.
No, okay.
The plants don't talk back to me.
Now we see why you love the greenhouse work. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us, and we do appreciate you so very much. And before we close today's segment, I'd just like to make sure that our viewers out there understand the importance and the value that the Extension Office, not just in Pasco County, but across the whole state of Florida, puts into our Master Gardener programs. We dedicate a lot of our time to the Master Gardeners, and they give that back tenfold. And so we are so incredibly happy and excited to have you all. So you make our jobs easier, and you make the lives of our citizens much better. So we appreciate you. As we close this episode of the Pasco Extension Connection, we thank you for tuning in and remind you that the University of Florida IFAS Pasco Extension Service is dedicated to developing knowledge in agriculture, the environment, families and consumers, lawn and garden, disaster prep and recovery, 4-H and youth development, and sustainable living, and to making that knowledge accessible to you to sustain and enhance the quality of your life. You can reach us at the University of Florida Pasco County Extension Office at 352-518-01456 or find us online at pasco.ifas, that's ifas.ufl.edu. This has been Whitney Elmore with the Pasco Extension Connection.